Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, February 22nd, 2011, and you're with Carolina Considered at Huntington Beach State Park again. Who are we talking with today?
I'm Elizabeth Moses, and I'm the Interpretive Ranger at Atalaya, our National Historic Landmark.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth, for your time today. I know you're busy as a one-armed paper hanger here, and I do appreciate your contribution. If I may ask a somewhat personal question, where were you born and raised?
I am actually a native South Carolinian. I'm from Sumter, South Carolina, but I have lived in several states up and down the East Coast.
Sumter's a wonderful place to be from.
It is.
You folks from Sumter and the Sumter area must have a mafia in the Park Service. There's so many of you.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Quite a few. So you were raised in Sumter, or did you leave Sumter as a child?
No, I grew up in Sumter and went to college in the upstate in Spartanburg. And then after that, kind of spread my wings a little bit and moved around.
Which one of those colleges?
I went to Wofford College.
Oh, my. That is an undergraduate education. Well, no wonder you write so well. When you were a kid, did you have an interest in history or architecture or things?
The funny thing is, I did not really. I've always been interested in animals, and that's been a main focus of most of my life, continuing today. And actually, embarrassingly, when I was at Wofford, I did not do well in the requisite history classes. I liked them, but I just didn't do well. And my interest in history came up about 10 years ago when I worked for an archives at the College of Charleston and kind of got personally involved in that. And since then, I realized that I do like history. I just have to have a little bit of a personal interest in it. And Atalaya and Huntington Beach Park is a place where my family's been coming. We have a house at Pawleys, so we've been coming here all of my lifetime.
So you're really familiar with the area right from the get-go, even if you are from Sumter?
Yes, I am. We have the house at Pawleys. It's been in our family since the 1930s, so I've been coming down here most of my life.
When did you become the Interpretive Ranger at Atalaya?
It was a little over 3 years ago. It was in December of 2007, and I'm the first ranger to hold this specific position here. It was created when I started.
And how in the world did you come to that? There must be a story behind that.
Well, I had been working in the area at other jobs, and this position came open, and the job I currently had was ending, and I really wanted to stay in this area. I am vested in the area. I do like the history here. I had been to Atalaya. I did not know a tenth of what I know now about the Huntingtons, but I really wanted to stay in the area and teach people about this area.
Did you know anything about Atalaya? Had you visited it before you arrived and managed it?
Yes, I certainly had. I visited off and on as a child. As most people know, for many, many years, Atalaya was just kind of an empty home. It was, the furniture has not been there for a long time. When I was young and coming here as a child, there was no signage in the house. So you didn't really know what it was. And I'm not even sure if I knew what it was. I knew that it was an old home, but I probably didn't know about the Huntingtons. And I'm not even sure if I knew the connection to Brook Green Gardens, where we also went frequently.
What was your biggest surprise once you became responsible for the place?
I don't think there were any surprises, really. It was just enormously wonderful to learn about the house and the Huntingtons who were there. It is a huge place to take care of. It's 40,000 square feet. So when other people talk about they have historic homes that they take care of, I'm like, no, you don't have anything like my home. Now, of course, that's not all interior. Some of that is the open courtyard on the inside. But it's a very large place to take care of. And that presents the biggest challenges, how to keep an eye on the place.
Did I get that number? Did you say 40,000 square feet?
40,000 square feet. It covers almost an acre. But again, remember, there are large interior courtyards that are not enclosed with a roof.
Good heavens. I was going to ask you what your biggest challenge is in taking care of Atalaya, but I'm embarrassed to now.
The sheer size of it and the fact that Atalaya was left alone for so many years, I think people just kind of didn't know what to do with it. Atalaya is technically owned by Brook Green Gardens, and the state park leases our property from them, so it's always been a joint working agreement. but on a day-to-day basis, the state park runs this side of the highway, and Brook Green Gardens runs their side. So it was left alone for many years. It certainly saw damage with Hurricane Hugo. That's when many of the doors and windows were knocked out. It's always been fairly empty of furniture. Mrs. Huntington removed most of the furniture after they lived in it, and the house has not been lived in since 1961. When there were caretakers there. So the fact that it's been empty for so long, it's been through some hurricanes, it's now open to the elements, and people could go in it. Those are all big things. We have to backtrack and we have to take baby steps. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us.